Okay. My friend Jeremy Stone, who is a contributor to Canon and also goes under comics_elitist on Instagram, recently has been thinning out his collection like all of us do. We keep some stuff, we buy some stuff, we get some new stuff, we get rid of some stuff, we run out of space, we get new edition, whatever. He listed the 5 Eclipse versions of the Miracleman traits. So there's book 1, book 2, and book 3. These 2 are very hard to find. This one is pretty easy to find, the first one. Book 4 is easier to find, but still hard to find and very expensive, and Apocrypha. And he posted them. I thought it was a pretty good price because they were worth a. They were much more expensive before Marvel bought the rights and started printing them. But the biggest complaint from people that read these books was the coloring. Marvel decided to recolor them because Marvel always takes something and has to do something that they do to change it over. Sort of like WWE has to take a successful wrestler and change their gimmick some way just so it can be WWE and not the other promotion's wrestler. And sometimes change is good and sometimes change is bad. And the coloring is the one thing that the fans really had an issue with. I can tell you that I had these original issues, sold them about 25 years ago, 26 years ago, when they were very expensive. I can tell you that the coloring here is really different paper because it's more of like a slick paper, but the coloring is really well done and it really looks like the way it did on the original comics. Just really great art, really great story. You've probably read these if you're looking at it. If you've never read the Miracleman stories and you've never read these, you can read the Marvel ones because you won't know the difference about the coloring. But if you read these and you cherish these and you look at the Marvel one, you'll notice a difference. But these are some of the best superhero comics ever made. This is what Alan Moore did in the era when he was doing this, V for Vendetta, before he started doing Swamp Thing, and then before he did Watchmen and From Hell and so on and so forth. I've always wanted these books. I've read these stories, but I've always wanted the original Eclipse versions. So when Jeremy Stone put them on at a very fair price, it was an offer I could not refuse. So you have 1, 2, 3, which is the Alan Moore issues, and then you have the Golden Age, which was the Gaiman Buckingham version. I like the Moore versions better. I found that some of these stories were good, but it really deals more with the humans on Earth interacting and living in a world that's run by the Miracleman family. So it kind of puts on pause any of the superheroic stuff. I get it. What I found with the Silver Age, because the Silver Age was never completed when Eclipse folded, so I'm sure there's a Marvel one out because Marvel was publishing it. Silver Age was like a Bendis book. It took a lot of issues to get very little resolved. I think it just seemed like they wanted to get to a spot and took 5 or 6 issues to get there instead of doing it probably in 3 issues maybe, and it would have been sufficient. And then there's Apocrypha, which are basically what if stories set in the Miracleman universe. And some of the artists, contributors here, I'm going to read off a list. Besides Neil Gaiman and Buckingham, you have Stan Walk, who did work on the original Swamp Thing, Kelly Jones, Norm Brayfogle, Matt Wagner, Kurt Busiek writes a story. Who else do I see here? Alex Ross does some work. Val Mayerick, Stephen Grant writes a story. So, like I said, these are like what-if stories set in the Miracleman universe. But I'm interested in reading these takes just to see kind of what it is. Because it's what if, they have free reign. But as I said, I was really happy to get these books, especially these two. These two are very hard to find and people want a lot of money for them. So I'm glad I was able to get them at what I thought was a very fair price. And this I already have, so I may just sell it, or I may just give it to somebody just so they can get their feet wet. Because once you read this, you'll want to read the rest. Anyway, that's what I got while I was away on my trip. I want to thank Jeremy for offering such a great deal. And just really happy to have these in my collection. Thanks.